Hi, happy Friday. Whew, I've got some thoughts that I've been sitting on for a while. Um, and yeah, I don't know, I guess I just want to express them. And I was mulling it over with Mark, and I'm like, because a lot of my internal ponderings are, I get frustrated. Oh, I whistled then. I get frustrated when I see division being stoked and like no way out of that. And yeah, so I personally have been on a real journey with my own moral compass, my own moral code. This is part of my own soul's evolution, and I was pretty much blind in many ways until I had my own children, and my first boy was born in 2014, and then my little girl was born in 2016. Oh my God! And for want of a better word, my awakening happened in 2018. I would say 2016 was really the start of the veils dropping, and the start of the work. The great work that never fucking ends, does it? So anyway, I've been mulling over this whole sort of like abortion debate, even though I think this Roe versus Wade thing is more of a separate issue, but obviously it's not. So, this is my confessional booth. This is my journal. My what they used to call it? Was it Book of Life or something? What the fuck was it? There's a TV show over here when I was growing up, and it was like, I still can't recall it. I might. And there's this old guy, and he would sit down with a big red book of somebody's whole life and the memories and stuff. Was it after somebody died or not? I don't fucking know, but anyway. What was it called? Because all I can picture is a Bible now. And that's making me think of stuff as well. So, anyway, so in 2011, I had an abortion and totally buried it all, buried it away. And I've gone over it a lot since in my own head, but never until the last 2 years was I able to go as deep as I needed to do. And so, yeah, if I would have been the person that I am today, back in 2011 when this happened, I wouldn't have had an abortion, and I would have dealt with the consequences. And what I've reaffirmed over this last, however long it's been since people have been talking about this decision in the Supreme Court or whatever, and I've listened to many different opinions, and just like personally, like the longer I am on my own journey of, I don't know, it's knowing myself, it's nothing more fancy than that. That's all it is. But the longer I've been looking inside, the more I'm comfortable, and I love to express that I know nothing, you know. And so what I find hard sometimes to deal with are such black and white opinions, no matter what side they're coming from on anything. Just like I am always, I don't know whether this is just me personally and maybe it's just, to help me some way, somehow, but I look at people's communication styles and I listen to the way people talk, and I'm not out of this, quite a lot of the time. I'm waiting for my own chance to talk in situations as well, it's like, but there's a lot of that going on. It's like, there's not much listening. Oh, I did not fart, that was a dog. Promise, they're snoring over there. So cute. So cute. I've got a sweaty top lip, sorry. Alright, so I just really don't want to piss anyone off. And what has shocked me, even though, again, this is such a nuanced subject, it's funny, I was just listening to Jordan Peterson and his perspective on things. I really resonate with Jordan Peterson. I appreciate his voice in the world. And I think it's a valid, and I'm just all for truth, And I think that one of the biggest problems in this world is that we're all too polite. We're too fucking polite to say anything. We're too polite to point out truths, which can be hard truths. We're too disconnected. And as I was thinking about things, I'm like, is this whole thing a correlation with, like, I've spoken about this loads, as so many others, but the God-shaped hole missing in this realm, and the rise in, like, atheism and science, and we know how easily corruptible science is. This last couple of years has proved that, and so has everything NASA has ever done. But I don't know what I'm talking about. Right, okay, so what did Jordan Peterson say? Okay, so the first thing he said was that abortion is clearly wrong. And he said, but that statement doesn't eliminate the complexity of the situation, which I completely resonate with. What I've been able to do over the last few years is just dig into my own darkness as much as possible. And I really appreciate that is what Jordan Peterson and so many other people, thinkers, speakers, philosophers of the past, authors, many people. Forgotten. I go off on tangents and forget where I'm going. Yeah, it's like, yeah, anyway, and then he went on to say that it's this, and this was years ago when he was saying this, but the abortion and the issues around that are just a surface manifestation of a much deeper issue. And, like, that's where I'm at. And over the years of my own looking at my own shit as honestly as I can and addressing these certain things, these experiences that happened in my life, I've been able to go back to that part in my life and open the lid, and not to be in denial about things. And because this subject is not just about what people think it is, and it's obviously thrown out there to divide and conquer, and it's working a treat, but it is a deeper problem that we might be able to address because these conversations are now being allowed to be had. For example, what I know about abortion now, I didn't know when I had an abortion. It's almost like the vaccines and whatnot, it's like people, whoever went out and got them or whatever without realising what was in them. It's like you things become normalized so much, like atrocities become normalized so much. James True was saying this on his podcast thing the other day, and I was resonating with, again, he's another guy that is, it's hard truths. But all this is, for me, it's like the problem with this that I think people are fuming about, and rightly so, and where there's so many nuances and examples of hypocrisy from both sides of the argument, that like the hypocrisy is just an endless loop. It's like you can point out examples from both sides of the argument that make total sense in a society that has denied what the act is and what's going on, So it's like, plus there's so many other, potential agendas and fallout, either way through both decisions, that it's all just a chaotic mess anyway. But basically, this is another example that we're given of just black and white, isn't it? It's just extreme polarities, like the left extreme, the right extreme, because again, one of the things that I'm sort of coming to conclude from all this is like, this is really all of this and all of everything that ever happens and everything that is ever presented to us is just for us to, it's a mirror for us to help us find our fucking way, the mirrors to help us. How do we feel about this? Not how does the whole world feel about it? It's like, and that's what I do agree is like fucked, is like, through 50 years of having things a certain way, and then all of a sudden people get to decide what happens to your own right to choose, as pro-choice people would say. And I understand the delicacies and the nuances within the sovereignty, issue of government control and things like that. But again, to me, it's like these are all just pointing us to, it feels like that these are individual decisions that we need to come to within us, I had some notes. Okay, that's it. So morals. It's like it's all about morals, the world, isn't it? And and dogma in a way as well. So, and we've all got dogma, and we've all got our own experiences, lenses, levels of empathy, compassion, emotion, everything. Some of us can see things from a lot of views, and some people just can't. They just can't. But I was thinking to myself, like, is there a right and wrong, like, in this situation? And this isn't me to judge anyone else. I'm judging myself here. Like, this is, for me, this is my own part of my own self-work and, witness. So, but what I noticed anyway was that my own journey has seen my perspectives change so radically, and that has been through more responsibility of my own, more accountability, more ability to look into my own bullshit and not just be projecting horseshit across the realm on everyone and everything. And so like this, this extreme right view of, it being so black and white, it's like, for me, I'm like, so is there a right and wrong? And it's like, yeah, there is a right and wrong for me. And so if we can collectively address our own shit and be able to see these things that we've normalized through society, through agendas obviously as well, and just what goes on, then you can be like, you know, you're at one point you're able to see it for what it is. So it's like, I'm not saying there aren't exceptions where, you know, it would be horrendous for a person, sounded very politically correct then, for a woman to be pregnant, or a girl to become pregnant, and it wouldn't be a horrendous thing. You know, I can see fallout that will happen. But like Jordan Peterson said, where's my notes? That the much deeper problem that needs to be addressed, that we should be working towards as a collective, is how humans should regulate their sexual behaviour, how we should be behaving as humans, like sexually with each other. And he's like, that's the level at which the problem needs to be addressed, you know, the proper place of sexuality in human behaviour. And like, I totally in agreement with that. Like, and he was using the examples, you know, the polarities of like how in these like fucking wild university campuses now, you literally have to have verbal consent to like touch somebody's hand or kiss somebody, and it's getting so contractual that the consent needs to be there. And then, you know, on the other side, the extreme right, like the solution to abortion that these extreme other view person would say is well, just don't have sex until you're married, you know. So there's like all this strange fluid sexuality going on the woke left sort of side of everything, where you can be anything, you can, you know, there's like literally half of the alphabet now in the LBT whatever TGIs whatever, you know. And it's so disgustingly overtly sexual, and yet they're not able to get to the root issue of what's happening, which is a life is ending. And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and try and get provocative and wind people up with like this emotive, deliberately passive aggressive, provocative language that so many people do when they're talking about this. But I was able to get to the point where I was able to watch documentaries and see what does happen during an abortion, and then I had to think to myself, when does the life start? And when I had an abortion at the earliest point I could, and it wasn't traumatic for me in the slightest. I had a pill. I'm not saying it makes it any better than anyone else who's had one, whatever, but even at that very small amount of weeks, I could feel something there. I could feel something, you know. And the whole thing has been really hard to come to terms with, but it was like instant decision. I told no one. There was somebody at work who, like my old manager, she kind of like, she was like a fucking connoisseur of him, I think, and so she took me under her wing and showed me what to do, and that was it, you know. But the larger part of me agrees that, like, if we can't get our morals right, if we can't stop, and I was this as well, but, you know, if we can't stop getting pissed and going out and sleeping around without using a condom, it's like condoms are available. Women can be aware of the cycle. There's so many other things that we can do, and obviously there will be pregnancies that are unwanted, and there'll be a lot of fallout from that. And I'm not saying that things should just flip from one side to the other, because I think the cognitive dissonance and the denial of what actually is happening and what we're doing, it's like in James Chew's video, he said, it's the ultimate self-mutilation. And it so is. Like, it really is. And it pains me to say this, because so many people that I listen to in the spiritual community or whatever, they have a totally different opinion. And I used to be like that as well. And I don't think anyone should think the way I think. I think this is one of these things that has cropped up for us all to think about what we've done in the past, what we would do in the future, what is going on, what actually is the act. Is it right or wrong? You know, it's like we're in a different day and age now, like, and this whole world is, on some level, I'm not blaming anyone, I'm part of it. The humans have done it. We've done this to ourselves with not much egging on, but like, we've normalized a lot of wrong things, haven't we? And yeah, like, I don't know, I just feel like there is a right and a wrong, but it does have to go across the whole board. So it's like, if we're going to get up on our high horses about life, it needs to mean life of animals, life of children, life of unborn babies, life of fetuses, life of plants, life of, we have to go the whole hog. And I think that's why it's so it's such a nuanced sort of loop that we're in, where we are in human society. 2121 I saw then, we're just not able to have these discussions and to collectively move into a more right place. And really, that's just, have complete sovereignty of your own body to the point where you're not fucking around. It's like, and like Jordan Peterson says, like, a lot of marriages, or half of marriages, end in divorce now or whatever, but it's like we don't take that idea seriously anymore. It's like Mark and I, we've been together with a small separation in between, it'll be 10 years this year, and the intimacy gets closer and closer, and you're able to integrate sexuality through marriage, through sacred communion, through built up trust with a person. And we don't do that. There's a lot of drunken, sordid, underworld behaviours that go on because we don't seem to want that communion between a man and a woman anymore, and things are so fucked up. But anyway, whatever. But I was just wondering, it's like, it doesn't matter, I don't want anyone to think what I think. I want everybody to just think what they think, and I think that's the point. It's like, these, like Jordan Peterson was saying, like, these discussions, they're all nested inside bigger and bigger discussions about morality or sexual behaviour. And but I mean, for me, what I was shocked about, I don't know why, but it's sort of like the amount of people who have absolutely the opposite view, and the denial and the vitriol, the denial of it's like we're all looking for loopholes to stay in denial about everything. And it's like, I am never on a high horse here. It's like I'm really just trying to forgive myself for so many things, and I continue to try and strive to be better. And only through finding the truth for me inside am I allowed to be that, that better person. And I just think a lot more like the answer to everything is always self-responsibility, self-accountability. And I think we do need to get to a point where we address the sort of strange, loose sexual behaviours of today's society, and we do try and strive towards respect and sacred communion. That sounded wrong. Is that even right? Reunion, maybe. Who knows? But, just that. And that doesn't have to be with a person, it's energetically with yourself anyway, but it is quite marvellous with another person, especially if you've got children together. And yeah, so anyway, only we can judge ourselves. We can't judge everybody else. And I really detest government involvement in any decision. So it's not like I don't feel anything about this Roe versus Wade thing. I don't know anything. All I know is that it's allowed me to listen to many perspectives and to realise that flipping from black to white or this to that is never a good thing. That's all we get offered in politics. That's all anything always is, just divide and conquer, this or that. The world is just nuanced and there are infinite perspectives of problems, and so yeah, it's like it's a singular truth and not a collective right, and we should use our own moral codes and our own levels of consciousness to do what we feel is right. But I do think that collectively there is a right way to move forward, although there will be a lot of ugly fallout on the way to truth, I think. Anyway, I hope I've not pissed anyone off. It's just tough shit, it's like I just see that I don't know. I just wish everybody could have nice, civil, intelligent discussions, but it's like, I don't know, it's like someone just drops a bomb in a room and then runs off and everyone starts panicking. And there's I personally resonate more with the Vedic astrology, the sidereal zodiac, and right now as the moon moved out of Cancer, I'm not sure, but the 5 main ones are in the home signs. We've got Mars in Aries, and plus Rahu's there as well, which intensifies it, the North Node. But Mars is in Aries, and I can feel the underlying pressure building, people's aggression and impatience, and just can't wait to just say what they want, And I do think the whole point of life is to say what you want, what you think, what you feel, what you believe. You'll get your own philosophy out there, and don't be fucking scared, and don't be a silent fucking thinker either. You need to get out your thoughts, even if you're in a sea of opposing views. It's safe to do so, and it's good for us to get it out. So yeah, anyway, oh fucking hell, that was a long one. Adios.